Welcome to Stone Cottage Adventures. Today's video is a closer look at our living room and how I combine a variety of styles, cultures, and original art, all objects I love, to tell a story and create my own style. There's decorating, which is adding things to make a space aesthetically pleasing. And then there's design, that underlying coordination that determines how spaces work together and function. People have very different tastes when it comes to decorating, said the old lady as she kissed the cow. But good design is universally recognized. My house is about me, my family, my life. What might feel cluttered to you causes completely different reactions in members of my family. When my children and grandchildren, brother and sister, nieces and nephews walk in the door, we start talking about family memories. In no room is that more true than the living room. See if you can figure out why. When you design a space, once you know where the walls and doors are going to be, the next element is always furniture placement, starting with the largest pieces. My mother taught me that living room furniture placement must always begin with the piano, since it must go on an inside wall. So this is where my modern style piano had to go. I originally had the door to the library centered on this wall, but when I was designing the space and started planning where the big furniture would go in the house, which is the component of design, I realized I did not have a place for my paternal grandmother's Duncan Fife reproduction china cabinet. So I moved the door and set the wall back enough to accommodate the cabinet. It's super easy to move things when the wall hasn't been built. My third large item is where most people start in a living room, which is the sofa. This room is not big and now had two very large pieces of furniture commanding spots. My solution? Put my maternal grandmother's love seat at an angle. This formerly built-in corner cabinet, picked up at a garage sale by my sister-in-law and then given to me, is a perfect size to fill the void behind the angled Art Nouveau love seat and balances the window in the other corner. Two Victorian chairs with new animal print damask and a traditional table, all from my paternal grandmother. An Asian table and a gold neoclassical demi-lune from that grandmother's sister complete the conversation group. Design-wise, the furniture placement allows people to easily access the stairs, the library and powder room, and the back of the house, the main living space in our compact home. As I take you through the room, I could continue to tell you who each piece comes from, but you're probably tiring of that unless you're related to me. It's faster to tell you what is not from family. The new fabrics used to reupholster, the battery-operated candles, the new lampshades, the piano, and 7 small items I found at thrift stores, and a handful of biographies from the library used book sale. Everything else belonged to someone in my family. I cherish my family items, while minimalists are telling people to get rid of family pieces that don't perfectly fit their aesthetic. And there's an interior designer who says you should never combine more than 2 different styles, and they should be chronologically close, like adjacent decades. In case you weren't counting, I have shown you 7 completely different styles of furniture spanning 200 years of decorating trends in this one small room. And the decor pieces, which I'll show you in a minute, add even more design styles. According to that designer, my room should not work. Some of you might agree. Now, when I started finding these guidelines, I wondered if I was breaking any other rules floating around. Surprise, I break a lot of rules. One design blog said every room should have at least one item that's a trending style. If anything here is trending, it's by accident. Another said to add as much color as possible. To me, this space works because I limited the colors. Several said to have a single focal point. I like to have focal points everywhere I look. The older I get, the more contrary I get. I want to do what I like, not what some arbiter of design tells me. So here's what I've done. First, I let the Oriental rug dictate the hues and the mood found throughout the room. Every time I add something, I am aware of how it works with the rug. Second, I combined many styles of decor: Victorian, neoclassical, Art Nouveau, reproduction late 18th century, Asian, modern, and 1950s early American. The dark brown, the black, the gold, the off-white all play on colors from the rug. Third, I liberally use patterns and textures. In addition to the rug, needlepoint pillows, a hand-decorated silk shawl, a crocheted throw, animal print damask, chintz, a sisal mat. The textures add interest, but the dominant colors have earthy undertones that echo the rug. Fourth, I have lots of original art: oil paintings, hand-tinted lithographs, aquatint etchings, Japanese ink drawings, leaded glass, mixed with inexpensive prints, even a framed greeting card and a postcard. Again, earthy undertones. And finally, everything in the room has a story. When it comes to decorating, I love to focus on vignettes, a collection of objects that work together visually. The first vignette is the gallery wall, 4 pieces of art unified by gilt frames and muted palettes. The large hand-tinted Belgian lithograph anchors the space. I added 2 aquatint etchings and an Italian print. The lamp and items on the table visually balance with all the objects. The corner cabinet creates an adjacent vignette and is filled with my great-grandfather's poetry books, an Art Nouveau clock given to my grandmother by an old boyfriend, not my grandfather. He hated the clock and said it had never worked. The carriage was filled with candy found under the Christmas tree by the grandmother who kept the broken clock when she was a little girl. Other items include a beautiful marble bust and a Renoir reproduction purchased at the Louvre gift shop in the 1970s. The little love seat is a big family joke. It was upholstered in 1968 with an indestructible orange fabric that was covered with dog fur from every dog ever owned by all of our family. I can remember 10 dogs by name during those 50+ years. As a child, I remember pulling up the skirt of the teal fabric my grandmother had it upholstered in during the 50s and 60s, looking for a lost toy. When I saw the carving, I started dreaming of what it could look like. Finally, 6 years ago, I had the chance to bring this Art Nouveau beauty back to life. It's 4 years shy of its 100th birthday. I treat the neutral space on the love seat like a vignette. The hand-stitched silk shawl protects the back from the cat, as do the Afghan and the piece of burlap. You know, it's the cat's house and he's kind enough to let us live here. If you notice clear packing tape on my furniture, the cat. The needlepoint pillows make the sofa more comfortable, and I just love needlepoint pillows. Kirby the cat thinks it so he will be comfortable when he looks out the window. I've mentioned before the leaded glass windows my father made for my last house. In the right-hand corner is the marble pedestal with the bust of Diana. When my grandparents were first married in the 1920s, they lived with my great-grandmother. Whole other story. My grandparents had a party when my great-grandmother was out of town. Things got out of hand and someone knocked over the marble pedestal and broke it. They quickly took it out for repair, a not very good repair. When my great-grandmother returned, she never said a word, but when she was closing her house and giving things to her daughters, she made a point of saying, "And Babe gets the marble pedestal and the bust of Diana." So when your kids break things, just make sure they inherit it. This gold demi-lune belonged to my grandmother's sister, as did the black oriental rug and the black neoclassical lamp. In the late 1980s, when these items were offered to anyone in the family who would take them, everyone else rolled their eyes. And I took them. Black and gold were not in. I could tell from people's expressions they thought I was crazy. I arrange art and collectibles around the lamp, changing with the seasons and my whims. If you watch closely, you would notice that it has changed 3 times in the last month as the flowers change. My beloved Yamaha piano was purchased at a thrift store for $100. It's the foundation for another vignette. The original oil painting is dated 1918, purchased directly from the artist by my great-grandmother. I love the colors in the painting with the hand-painted Italian pottery from the 1940s. I use different candlestick holders and change things seasonally here. I often use a vase filled with a branch trimmed from bushes in the garden or seasonal decor. My favorite books of piano music are kept at hand. This reproduction china cabinet came from my paternal grandmother. The objects in here have strong memories for me and are arranged very formally, like items on either side of a strong central object. Books, family silver, figurines, random plates and porcelain and crystal from my mother, my grandmothers, and great-grandmothers, and natural science items I've found over the years. I imagine having a curiosity cabinet like a 19th century collector. I recently added the LED lights and love the way they reflect off the geode and cut crystal. A closer look at the room will find an Art Deco Bakelite necklace made in Germany before World War II. A sculpted paper card made by Papyrus Stationery that I put in a Goodwill frame. A postcard from a museum in Germany. A sisal rug from the dollar store that covers a worn corner of the rug. Different styles, different cultures, high and low, things that sound like they shouldn't work together. The challenge I had was to combine furniture and decor from countless other people and make it mine. I know I'm not on trend, never have been, never will be. but this room reflects where I come from. If I have any wish for you, it's that you will be brave. Create your own style with things that tell your story. If you like something, even if it's not in style, even if others think you're a little crazy, create a home with items that you see beauty in, that have meaning for you. The most creative solutions and the best stories begin with the biggest challenges. See you next time. Hit subscribe if you want to see more of how I decorate our home, DIY projects past and present, the garden as it changes through the seasons, and so much more. Let me know in the comments section what you're most eager to see next.